Step one, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step two, get some good, some food in you. Step three, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step four, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause of sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step two, get some good, some food in you. Step three, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step four, everybody just do your thing.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Well, good evening. We're still working out some of the kinks in the system, but we've got things moving you guys can see my face way down here, way up here. Hey! Okay. So now we're getting we're getting through the process of setting up a new system from literally scratch. I'm loving the progress so far. Still working on the background and the chroma key type of thing, but I'm really starting to dig it and like it. So we'll see how everything works out. If you guys are here, please don't forget to thumbs up this live. We're going to be going over some things related to Lilly and Jack Sullivan in another case that I covered briefly, and I was almost certain that the case had been solved until I was death scrolling on TikTok, and then I realized, holy smokes, this guy still hasn't been found, and we're going to go through all of that here in a few moments. So it's nice to see everybody. I hope I'm coming in crystal clear. I hope the sound's coming in crystal clear. This is not a StreamYard live. This is our new channel live. I'm still figuring out how to incorporate folks on our new broadcasting service, but all those things will work out in time. Right now, I'm building it. What you see now is not what our final product will, ultimately be. But it's definitely apparent that all the green screens I've had that I've not used are going to be needed for this particular program, because as you can see, I can cut myself out, and I should be coming in much clearer than I've ever come in before. That's one of the reasons why I decided to move. This is an open source program, so I can basically build it any way I want. And so the building of this is a learning curve, and it's taking quite a bit to get it off the ground. But every single day I spend just a little bit of time on it, and every single day we're getting a little further in the process. So I'm Bullhorn Betty. I cover true crime. We cover other things, but predominantly true crime here on this channel. So it's nice to see everybody. Melanie, I've already said hi to. Lisa B. Always. B. Betty fan, it's nice to see you. Love Bug, no more lies. Cindy, it's nice to see you. Stacy Michelle. Bullhorn Betty is present. Our beautiful The Real Me Too is up in the chat. It's nice to see you, my love. Fed up with humanity. I think a lot of us are getting that way at times, What do you do? What do you do? I feel like a nuclear, like the nuclear look, but I think it's not stressing you as much. Oh, I like it. No, it's not stressing me as much. Behind the scenes a little bit, the learning curve is a little nerve-wracking, but I'm finding if I just do bite-sized pieces, like we've already got it set up, we're moving along in the program. We're already able to do a lot more capabilities than we once were, and yeah, and I'm not dropping, and even when the camera does, like I'm on Mac, and they use those USB-Cs. I don't really like them, and I'm not a fan of them. But that's what everybody's converting to, and I'm absolutely certain in another few years they're going to convert to something else, because all of them are going to keep falling out of the holes, and that's the problem. Or gyrate just ever so slightly, it knocks everything out, and that's what's been annoying. So it's partly the Apple that I'm running this on, and partly just the StreamYard system. But this one, when I knock out, it still keeps my volume here, and it pops my camera right back on. So I like it. So what we're going to be doing is we're covering the case of Lilly and Jack Sullivan. They disappeared May 2nd, still haven't been found. We're still running down some information, but believe it or not, you guys, I'm not really a Joseph Morris fan because of some of the really crazy stuff he did or stated or assumed in the Idaho 4 that just wasn't, in my opinion, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, just explaining, in my opinion, saturated in a whole lot of factual information, and it was very hard on the families, as you guys know. We were with the family, interviewing them. We had a good connection, and whatever the case may be. So I kind of was like a little off-putted by him, but here in the Lilly and Jack Sullivan case, he's really been doing well, in my opinion, very well. And he's kind of grown on me a little bit, which is surprising. So we're going to go over a couple of little spots in his video that he dropped that I find interesting. And we'll be going over there shortly. Karen, it's nice to see you. Ava, it's nice to see you as well. Pat, who else? Faye, good evening. Good evening. Billy B, it's nice to see you. Tammy Sue, Mandy, it's nice to see you. Luna Petunia, it's nice to see you. VA Dynamic. Who is that? I just missed. It just popped up on me. Suzanne, it's nice to see you. Lisa B. Always, I think I got you. Pebbles, it's nice to see you. Oh, it popped up on me. Turquoise, you guys can't hear me? Oh. Uh-oh. It's saying you guys can hear me. Can you guys not hear me? Are you guys... You guys should be able to hear me now, right? Was it just the volume turned down? It's low? Okay, so let's work on this. It sounds like I'm echoing. Am I echoing somewhere? Hold on. Okay. Let's just make sure we're not doing anything. Sounds good? You're good now? Okay, I'm good now. No, we don't have any echoes or anything. No echo. Okay, perfect. Okay, I like it. Let me just turn it up. Oh, that's a little too loud. So now you guys should be able to hear me well. I heard you're fine. Okay, a little bit of echo. Okay, let me just bring that down just a tad. All right, guys, so you're going to have to turn your volume up. I don't know why. I am the loudest person on YouTube. Do we still have an echo? Not better, but a bit of an echo. I can kind of hear the echo. This shouldn't have any echo. Oh, that's probably the problem right there. I don't know why it's doing this. It's showing my the volume up on your end. Sounds too low. Okay, so let's put this at 70%. I don't know why it's cracking. Can you guys hear me better now? Have her all the way up. It's too low. Okay, hold on just a second. Let me... There. Can you guys hear me better now? Yes? That's it? No sound? There is ringing now. Okay, hold on. Let me get my phone out. I'll have to listen to what I'm doing, because I want to make sure this is right before we move on to the next phase. Let's see what's going on here. Okay. Okay, I see what the problem is here. So let's go over here to... Oh, I'm going to mute that. Control... Hide mixer, add source... I guess we can just move that up, but I can hear myself. Why am I echoing? Built-in microphone. Is that better? No, it doesn't sound better. Is that better? Let's try it now. I can hear myself echo. Why am I hearing myself echo? It's too low. I don't know what to do. Let me, properties. Oh, hold on a second. Let me go to system settings. I think I might know what the problem is. Okay, can you guys hear me better now? You sound a little better. Okay. I don't know. It's just weird. It's perfect. Izzy girl, good. No touch now. Okay. You can hear. Okay. I think it's because it was on a different, do we want to save this? Yes, we want to save. Okay. So you guys can hear me. Cannot hear you. Okay. Let me turn this back on. All right, let's check that out. I don't think it's because my phone. That's why. It's not going to let me check it. That's probably what it's been this whole time. It's my phone. Can you guys hear me, yes or no? Or I'll turn this down and turn up the mic. Something isn't right. I agree. Okay, let me do something else. I'm going to turn this. Okay. Monitor off. There you go. You guys should be able to hear me now just fine. Do you guys hear me now? Whoever's saying that, we're testing. No, good sound is good. Okay. Whoever's being nasty, you will be blocked because we're testing a new system. So I don't have time for your, nonsense. Let me see what I have this on now. Monitor off. All right, so I've got to have the monitor one off. Now let me see if I add the input. Now, guys, I'm adding the input, the audio input back in. You're going to have to tell me if I'm echoing. Am I echoing? So then if I just leave the audio off, I got to turn the audio back on whenever. Oh, thank you. I don't know who did that. Who is that? Hold on. Let's see if I can pull your name. Oh, is it Pammy Bear? It's nice to see you. It's nice to see you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, with the noise. Echo, squelching, you're good. Smash the like. Sounds a lot better. Yeah, because so I'm going to have to play with the, it wasn't doing this last time. I didn't have to, actually had to turn my mic completely off, and this one I'm having to turn my audio input off to use my mic to speak. So this is going to get a little complicated, but that's okay. We'll get through it. So now I want to get to, and this is going to be a new thing because we have not done this before. So let me make sure I've got this control. Oh, this might be some of the reasons why it's doing it. I forgot about that now that I have all these other things on here. So we'll have to work out some kinks, as you guys can see, but this is going to be one of the great things that we can do on this program, because we can move this bigger, we can move this smaller, and this is Joseph Morris, again, somebody that, I really have enjoyed his commentary on this, and there's some things that he says here. So we're going to play it. Make sure you guys let me know whether you guys can hear it or not.
Rocks the case of Lilly and Jack Sullivan's disappearance. A neighbor heard a loud 5-speed car racing in and out of their trailer's driveway 6 times between midnight and 5.
Okay, I just want to make sure that there is no echo. It doesn't look like it's echoing on my end. I want to make sure it's crystal clear. It was echoing. Okay, so this is where I've got to turn this.
5 a.m. on May 2nd, 2025, hours before the 6-year-old and 4-year-old vanished, leaving only a torn pink blanket. So this bombshell, locked behind a Globe and Mail paywall, is one I'm sharing fresh with you. So I'm Joseph Morris, and don't forget to like and subscribe as we dive into this chilling mystery together. So Lansdowne Station, a tiny hamlet in Nova Scotia's Pictou County, sits 150 kilometers northwest of Halifax. It's a cellular dead zone choked by dense spruce forests, sharp bushes, and bogs buzzing with black flies. A century ago, Scottish miners dug iron and copper here. Now, abandoned mine shafts and rusted car skeletons litter the dirt roads. A single train wails daily. So 1 in 5 kids here live in poverty, worse than most of Nova Scotia. Lilly and Jack lived in
So I'll turn this on. Hopefully I'm not echoing. But I am probably going to have to modify just a little bit the audio. There's something that worked last night that isn't working today, and now I'm having to pop through different mics, which I didn't have to do. So I'll have to work that out. But how did all that sound and look so far? I'm probably going to have to go back and start that over. But this is the stuff that I like from Joseph Morris. This is really good information. It's very concise and very consistent. And we're going to have several talking points on this as well. So I'm going to go ahead and back up now that I know that we're doing good. My sound seems like it's coming in perfect to you guys. And the sound of this is as well. So we'll keep moving on.
A jaw-dropping new detail rocks the case of Lilly and Jack Sullivan's disappearance. A neighbor heard a loud 5-speed car racing in and out of their trailer's driveway 6 times between midnight and 5 a.m. on May 2nd, 2025, hours before the 6-year-old and 4-year-old vanished, leaving only a torn pink blanket. So this bombshell, locked behind a Globe and Mail paywall, is one I'm sharing fresh with you.
Okay, now I can tell this is going to probably drive me just a little nutty, but this is the paywall one that I think Justin was also speaking about, and it had a lot of detailed information. The reason why I'm grabbing this clip is because, I'm sure Justin showed it as well, but it shows Daniel's... I'm a little confused because at the beginning of this case, we learned that Daniel acquired that trailer and property because allegedly his dad had passed away. I'm wondering if it's his grandfather or his mother's ex-husband, you know, maybe a half-father or a stepfather or something like that, because it really just doesn't make sense to me that he's on video. His dad is on video, and we're going to blow his dad's face up when we get to that spot, because I see sadness. Like, his dad is lashing out at whoever's recording, and you're going to see it, and we're going to talk about it. But what you're going to see is some people, when they're hurt and they are carrying a lot of weight, they lash out in anger. In my opinion, they lash out in anger. And I believe that they lash out in anger because they don't... Oh, my light just went out. They don't know what else to do. They don't know what else to do. So they lash out. I wish I would have charged this. My light just went out. My little light. And so... But it's an odd event. It's an odd event because when he does lash out in anger, it's for all the wrong reasons. Somebody's there potentially to help. Actually, you know what? Let me just fast forward to that part, because I think you need to see it. Here it is, right here. And you'll get what I'm talking about. This is Daniel's father. And this is going to be important because this is a detail none of us really knew about up until this report. And it was that there sounded like a standard car, one that you have to engage. And I that's what they said they thought they heard. But I think what they really heard was an ATV. But it could have been a car. And it could have been a standard shift car. And I think it's huge. I think it's super, super huge. What do we have? Perfect sound. Thank you. When you speak, sounds like a big fan blowing. Thank you, plant lady. Hopefully not anymore. I'm hoping we are working it out. Yes, what's the back noise? I'm not sure what the back noise is. Are we doing good now? Are you guys hearing my air conditioning popping on? You might hear the air conditioning. Because I do have a fan on and the air conditioning. The neighbor was counting how many transmission shifts they heard. That's unusual. Well, it sounds like it was rolling back and forth. And I've got to think that if you hear something like that, there's the potential of waking you up and you're probably trying to go back to sleep and here it goes again. And they probably got to the point. I mean, it sounds like the person came back and forth several times, which is crazy. I think I kind of felt that something happened in the evening. But how ironic is it that Lily had just come back Wednesday evening with a black eye? Wednesday evening with a black eye and decides not to go to school the next day. It's a little odd. But I don't, I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know if I would think that would be odd because of the statement the neighbor said about the the vehicle coming back many times between 12 p.m. and 5 a.m. There is no way you can tell me Janie didn't hear squad. Everything that we're learning, nobody drives up and down that road. As you heard in his opening, the majority of the children are living in poverty. In poverty out there. Why in the world would she do this? This is Earl Martell's home, right here. This is Daniel's father's home. They are like very, very destitute. And it makes you wonder how in the world, and I think somebody was talking about how much money they were getting from the government and the fact that Daniel Martell hasn't paid his taxes and he's probably going to owe some money. You know, there's a lot of stresses, unhidden stresses in this whole dynamic. I don't think we understand. I had a question since first hearing the article read out loud. Who's out working on their car between 12 a.m. and 5 a.m. to hear the car? It sounds like they were in bed sleeping, but the vehicle was running on the ATV trail back and forth behind their home. As you can see, you're probably looking at a home similar to what you're looking at here, Earl's dad. These things are paper thin. You can hear through these things right here. Mine wasn't this, but I had one small that we went camping in, and it's better than a tent, but you can still hear just about everything outside of your camper. So if this is their neighbor, which it sounds like Earl's dad is their neighbor, I'd have to think that their house is much similar. I mean, look at Daniel's house, look at his dad's house, and then, you know, the neighbors. So that might have something to do with it. Now, I don't know. It's just my opinion. I'm finding out all of this information just recently. So, you know, we've got to make heads or tails of it. But I'm unsure. One of them got messing with... Thank you, guys. When anxious people drive, they sometimes push the RTP. Yeah, and I get that. But this was on the ATV trails. I think it's a clue. But the problem is because the RCMP has not found the children, I believe, much like Adam Montgomery, if Daniel and Malehya is involved, we know Malehya hasn't been out there, but, you know, it sounds like Daniel was very controlling, and Daniel has been subtly trying to blame Malehya for everything, right? I believe he planted the pink blanket. He knew that Malehya had thrown it away, or whatever the case may be. Something happened. Something's with that pink blanket. And I thank you for the people that sent me the map to where the pink blanket is. We're going to do something with that. I'm not sure what yet, but we will do something. So let me get back to this video. I want you guys to watch this. We're going to talk after we hear the whole conversation and dynamic with Earl Martell, which is Daniel's father. there's definitely something off about Daniel's family. Like, I don't understand why nobody wants to provide themselves a better lifestyle. It seems like they're just fine living like this. His parents have never tried to move out of the area. They've never really, I don't know. I just, maybe some people are just okay, and that's fine, to each their own. Maybe some people don't realize there is a better life. Maybe in Canada it could be very, very, very bad, but it sounds like in town's only 20 minutes. So it just seems like it would be, fruitful for them to get employment 20 minutes away to change their lifestyle. But, what do you do? What do you do?
Which is an interesting detail the Globe and Mail shared. So this ATV trail is near Earl's home. And I don't know if you guys remembered this clip from earlier, but this is Earl actually getting really angry at a influencer who was visiting the home.
Yeah, you sure can. What are you doing? Put your camera down, bud. Be a man. Be a man.
Tell me, what can I help you?
Are you the one that stole them kids?
Me?
What are you doing here?
Are you?
What are you...
That is a weird statement. Are you the one that took the kids? He knows darn well that those kids, law enforcement, the RCMP has outright said that they don't believe that the abduction theory. Okay, they don't believe the abduction theory. And this is Daniel's dad acting like this for somebody that's out there. He doesn't know, they're out there to bring awareness to the children that are missing. I just find it inappropriate for his behavior. And it tells me something about him. And it tells me something about what he knows as well. All covering for each other. Absolutely Remy stuff. Absolutely. Hands down. Yeah, I heard the neighbor was working on his car all night. Okay, well maybe that's what it is. I thought they said they were in bed. We're about to get to it. We're going to rewind and go back to that spot because it's either right before this here that we're watching, or it's right after. So we'll check this out and then we'll figure it out. Just bear with me while I'm having the audio. I got to make sure my microphone is turned off so I can play this for you without the echo. So just bear with me.
What are you doing here?
Are you?
Are you in here?
Are you?
What are you doing here?
Are you?
You're a idiot. Another one of them YouTubers, are you?
Is anything wrong? I park my car in here?
You're not parking, you being an idiot.
For what?
You can YouTube all you want. You low-life little
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
How do you talk to a perfect stranger like that? And yes, a fed up, that's what I'm saying. Chaos, that's what I'm saying. That's how we heard or learned that he purchased, or not purchased, but he acquired that property his mom stays on as his dad. That's why I said I'm wondering if it's a stepdad. If it was Janie, like obviously his mother and his real dad are divorced. And they live like a mile away from each other. So it was either that or this man here's father, his grandfather. And maybe he has the same name as his grandfather and people misinterpreted it and got it out there. But Daniel did not buy that property. He inherited that property. And it sounds like Janie was living in the house and had just had it with the noise in the house and wanted her own space. That's also what I'm understanding as well. Does anyone else remember who said Daniel's? I remember hearing it because we said it on our channel as well. And I remember hearing it in a Facebook group. It was a Facebook group I heard it. And they were talking about the property and how Daniel had received that property. And they said that his father had passed away. But if his grandfather had the same name as his father, then they may have gotten the ties crossed. But it sounds like it was inherited to Daniel by a family member. And I thought they said dad, but clearly we see dad right here, unless this is uncle. But they're all saying it's dad. That this is dad, not uncle. So I can only tell you what I'm finding. How true it is, I don't know these people. I can't get backgrounds on these people. I literally don't have a clue who's related to who. This looks like a lot like Daniel. Could it be his uncle? Could it be, it's, his mother's brother? I don't know. His name's Martell, so it sounds like it's from Daniel's father's side of the family, but everybody's saying this is Daniel's dad. That's all I know. That's all I know. I am equally as confused with you guys, but I do remember where I did hear that. And it was from a Facebook group. I'm pretty sure that Daniel commented that he inherited from his dad. Okay, so maybe his dad just quit-claimed it over to him. Yeah. And maybe people misinterpreted it, inherited it from his dad to inherited it from his dad because his dad died. Because inheritance, kind of for some implies that. So that could be possible. That's how things can be unintentionally misrepresented. He separated from the mom. Yeah. But is it his mom's property? Because that's another thing I've heard. I've heard somebody even reference it being Janie's property. I'm thinking, well, if it's Janie's property, why didn't she kick the family out into the RV and keep her house? But it sounds like she just wanted her own space. So I don't know. It seems to me like this guy, if you look at his, let's look at his face. Hold on here. I want to show you guys this. To me, he looks like he is, is the right one? No, that's not the right one. Hold on. He looks like, I want you to look at his eyes. He looks sad. His eyes, to me, look sad. And maybe not necessarily this particular frame of it, but it's after he chews the guy out. He seems like he's got sad eyes. And that was very telling to me because, in all fairness, if he's got sad eyes, then he knows something bad happened. Janie lived in the house and let Daniel and Michaela move in with the kids. That's what Turquoise says. Thank you. Thank you for that information. I appreciate it. Isn't that tint? I don't know. Janie referred to it as her property in her interview. Yeah, I know. And Daniel's referred to it as his property as well. So I don't know. Let's just honestly say the dynamic's a little, not necessarily fully weird or uncommon. I mean, we have sandwich generations. It's kind of the times, everybody's hurting. There's just a lot of instability, even in Canada. And I think that I don't know. I don't want to talk about, Canada. I don't know anything about the Canadian stuff out there. I really don't. Politics or otherwise. I just don't.
Oh, yeah?
You can smile because you got a camera.
Calm down.
I don't have to calm down.
Who heard you?
You're the one that...
Who heard you?
You.
Who heard you?
You.
Keep crying. Keep crying, man.
Hate you, YouTubers.
I'm not YouTuber.
Then what are you doing here?
I'm here looking for shit. What are you doing?
Bullshit.
Bullshit.
Pictures of me then.
Because you took a picture of me first.
I live here.
So what? I can't come here to help? What the wrong with?
And I think that's really it. Like the guy's out there. This guy's walking by. He's being he's trying to bring attention to himself. You know who he's acting like? And you guys are gonna say ding 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 ding. Terry Bowersox. Remember when Jonathan pulled up at the house to take the first picture? I think he was one of the first people out there in the area. And he pulls up and Maddie and Terry Bowersox pull out behind him. And, just remember that? That's who he reminds me of. And then going out of his way to take pictures of the license plate, that's what he did to me. And that was for no other purpose than intimidation. And look how this man is acting. A lot like Christopher Proudfoot's poor behavior. So now we're starting to have behavioral issues going on. Yeah, Oakley. Oakley's like, oh yeah. Oh yeah, exactly. So, but when you look at his eyes, and I think it's going to come back here, but I might have to rewind just a little bit, but I want you to look at his eyes, because I blew his eyes up, and you see, even though he's angry, you see the pain in his eyes. You see the scaredness in his eyes. In my opinion, hey, Great Crime with Grace, it's nice to see you. Oh, Remy Stuff, it's nice to see you. Marlene, it's nice to see you. Good evening, Mom's First. Frank It Up, it's nice to see you. I don't even think I said hi to you, Sonia. Hey, Sonia. Hey, 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 hey. I hope you guys are doing well. For those that are just coming in and haven't been here in a while, I hope you guys like it. We're building a new system. We've got some, we're working out some kinks. Every show, or every time I can come on this program, I will, so we can just fine tune it and keep fine tuning it. But one thing I am finding is that every time I shut it down, when it boots back up, my settings don't stay. So I've got to find a way to resolve that. But if not, we can figure out how to manage it. I don't care. I like this 100 times better, even with the little bit of technical problems we do have. I like it hands down better than StreamYard. Absolutely, without a doubt, hands better than StreamYard. And I think the viewer experience, especially when we have breaking cases and press conferences and stuff like that, the viewer experience is going to be top notch. And we'll be able to run from different angles. We can put it all up here on the screen. It's going to be, you guys will, in my opinion, I think you guys will really enjoy it. But we're going to have to figure out the settings and stuff like that, and I've just got to remember them. So when technical issues do come, like just now, we had to kind of play with some settings just to figure out what works and what doesn't. So very thankful for that. But what do you think about Earl? Earl Martell losing his stuff. He's really kind of having a lot of the red flag behavior that we don't like seeing in families that are dealing with this. Families that are concerned about missing children don't give a rat patootie about anybody else. If you're there to help, jump in. Here's where we need help. Okay? These people aren't concerned about these children. They're concerned about covering somebody's butt or saving their own hide. I'm not sure here, but he's pretty hurt and angry. Okay? And he might be pretty hurt and angry because he's concerned about his son. As many of you guys would probably be. I mean, put yourself in this situation. Now, granted, we don't want you doing anything criminal for the benefit of your children. They have to stand on their own. They have to deal with their own consequences and stuff like that. But just think about the grief that you as a parent would go through if your child did something to hurt somebody else, or something that's going to put them away, by hurting somebody else, put them away for a long time. I mean, that is your child. You don't want to go through that with them. Many parents have had to walk that tough road with their children. But you've got to, we still have to try to find some empathy, because let's face it, Earl, let's hope, now, this is right by his house. Could he be involved? In my opinion, the answer is going to be yes. Yes, he could be. Because it is so stinking close to his house. I just don't see his boy not coming over there for some guidance or some help. If shit hit the fan. I'm sorry. It's just. Now, does that mean that that's the truth? No, that's just my opinion, just my opinion. I don't want people passing it around that, Earl's involved because Bullhorn Betty said. No, it's not what I said. Could he be? At this point, yeah, he could be. Because what we're hearing with this whole trail and this vehicle going back and forth, whether it's an ATV or truly a standard shift vehicle, it goes right by his dad's house. And we talk all the time about the oh shit factor. And the oh shit factor, you make a lot of stupid mistakes, including calling for help, phoning a friend, right? The phoning a friend problem. So, could that have happened? Of course it could have. Do we know it happened? No, we don't. It just could have. That's all. That's all we're saying here.
What was you, man?
What's wrong with you?
Walk away, little.
So let me know what you guys think about that interaction.
Okay,
I
let me
do
go
understand
back.
where
I think it's right here.
What's wrong with you?
Okay. I think it's right. No, it's not right there. It's this one. Let's see. No, let me get it. There it is. There. I think it's this one right here. But just look at his eyes. To me, I personally believe... What? Oh, because my skin... No, that's not it. I was... There we go. This is it. One thing I can't stand is not figuring out which one I am. There we are. On screen capture right there. So I want you guys to look at this man's eyes. I mean, to me, he seemed, those are sad eyes to me. I don't know how you feel about it, but to me, it seems like his, like, I believe that the eyes are, whatever they say, to the soul, right? The gateway to the soul. And we see a lot with, like, even mass murders, right? Brian Koberger, dark, sunken in eyes. That guy, Dustin, sunken in eyes. That other guy, that teacher from Arkansas, the sunken in dark eyes. He doesn't have sunken in dark eyes. His eyes, to me, are sad. I'm just saying. Sad eyes, turn the other way. I don't want to see you cry. But look at him. He looks upset. He's pretty angry at that guy being there because this is his family, and he probably knows it's not going to turn out too well. That it's not going to, he might lose his son. So he just seems, it seems like he's hurt. He doesn't know what to do, and he's lashing out at this perfect stranger, probably because it's been boiling in him for a while. I really, truly don't believe this particular stranger really riled him up like that. He's the one that picked the fight from our understanding and everything we're hearing transpire here. He's the one that went out there and got the camera, started snapping the photos, started antagonizing a person that, for all intents and purposes, is out there to help search for this child. No, that's cataracts at Bullhorn Betty. To me, he looks sad. He looks like I don't know, just to me, and I could be wrong. I've read people wrong. Hell, this last case, the Giovanni Pelletier case, I analyzed that all wrong out the gate. So it's not like, and I always tell everybody, just because I think that might be the possibility doesn't necessarily mean it's a possibility, It's just my opinion. And, I don't know, I just feel like, Daniel's father, unless he helped, this, again, he didn't have anything to do with this. But let's get back to the kind of a different area of this, and I think it's it's right before this. It's right here. So let's go back. Disappearance and initial search, family trailer details. I think let's just start right here. And I want you guys to listen to this. Okay, let me make sure that my speaker is off before I kill your ears again.
Jack's blue dinosaur boots, Lily's pink boots, and her strawberry backpack were gone. One child-sized boot print marked the driveway. Malehya called 911 at 10 a.m. Daniel sped off in her white SUV, checking dirt roads and streams. Search teams with orange vests, drones, helicopters, and dogs scoured the woods, thickened by 2022 storm Fiona. They searched the trailer, a hamster cage, a brush pile, a suitcase, the dryer, the chicken hut, and Janie's camper 3 times. But nothing turned up. A torn pink blanket, confirmed as Lily's, appeared in 2 places. One piece
I love this. This is going to be great. So what I was saying is that we heard 2 things. We heard that there is a pink blanket in 2 spots. And then I was saying over, let me get my thing over here. Over here, right here is where they started from. And they ended right here, right? And it is a 16-minute walk from here to here. I thought you guys would like to see me floating around here on your screen. So it went there and there. And what I was saying is the 2 spots. But we know that they did not walk 16 minutes. We know that they would have taken a either the SUV or the ATV. We know that they had ATVs on the ground. Did I give you some motion sickness? We always talked about a Betty bobblehead. We always talked about a Betty bobblehead. Okay, guys. I'm just floating in your dreams. I'm just floating in your dreams. We're just having fun with this. I'm sorry. I do like this program, even with all the audio stuff. I'm going to figure this audio thing out. There's definitely a setting that will fix this. It might be that I may have to remove the audio source. We'll have to see how it works, because yesterday I didn't have to use the mic at all, and now I'm having to use the mic setting. So there's definitely something different today than there was yesterday, but I did a lot of stuff to this stuff today, so I might have changed a setting behind the scenes. So let's keep listening about this pink blanket. 2 spots, guys. Remember, 2 spots.
was tangled in a spruce tree a kilometer away on an ATV trail near Daniel's dad, Earl Martell, and uncle's homes, which is an interesting detail the Globe and Mail shared. So this ATV trail is near.
It'll be much easier once I have 2 screens, which I don't have in here. I know, the reason why I stopped that is a Silkman, I get you. A hamster cage, like why would you, like how big is this hamster cage that would take searching 3 times? It might have just been a weird statement that they put into the story that just implied that they physically searched it. But now it's getting into the conversation about the ATV. So let me just shut my pie hole and let this play out.
Near Earl's home. And I don't know if you guys remembered this clip from earlier, but this is Earl actually getting really angry at a influencer who was visiting the home.
Yeah, you sure can. What are you doing?
To film in public. So I do feel like this guy wasn't creating any sort of problem, and it is a huge story that is worldwide. So, you know, I understand where Earl's coming from, but I did feel like his reaction was a little too much, and I'm going to actually say it felt a little defensive. And I don't.
It did feel defensive, and in my opinion, that's the problem. And that's why I went and looked at his eyes, because I was trying to see if he was really angry, because you can usually see, like, if somebody's screaming at you, he looked fed up. Yeah, that's it. And that's what I was looking at. I wanted to see if he was like angry, But when I blew up his face, to me, he just looks sad. Because he's nervous. I'm sure he probably is. I mean, I don't see what his motivation would be to hurt those children. But coming right out, oh, you're the one that snatched those kids or kidnapped those kids, to some stranger, knowing that there really is only 2 major suspects, maybe 3. This is serious. This is a serious offense. Kiki, Daniel's dad. Yeah, it's Daniel's dad. He shows fear, in my opinion. Yeah. But usually if you can keep him talking, like if that guy could have kind of de-escalated it and got him talking, it's when you have them in that vulnerable position that you can get a lot of leakage and, just a lot of slips. And I felt like the guy, and rightfully so, sometimes it's a coin toss with me. Somebody comes up to me like that out there on the street, I may tell them to go F themselves, right? I'm known to do that, right? If you get under my crawl and I'm out there, I'll just tell you, take a hike, kick rocks, whatever the case may be. But then there would be just another side of me that might, especially if it's somebody to the family, where I just de-escalate that stuff real quick and try to get them opening up and talking to them. So, you flip of a coin, though, with me, because it really depends. Now, would that have really irritated me? Probably not. I'd probably be asking him, what did your son do with the kids? What did they do with the kids? I wouldn't have been antagonizing him, like that guy. I would have been I guess I would have been antagonizing him, just in a different way. I'd be wanting to, seek out info. Aw, Lady Justice, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And let me come up here, because I wanted to thank the 2 other people. I can't put the fan funding on the screen yet. I don't know when I'll be able to. Oh, look at this. I missed a lot, too. Melody says, happy Saturday, Delilah, mods, and chat. I hope everyone had a good day so far. Much love to you, Betty. Everyone praying for all the missing get found. Amen to that. And who's this? Why does it, I wish it wouldn't cut off the, names on that one, but let me see if I can go over here and hover over to give me the name. It's not giving me the name, sorry. But I appreciate, I think it was Pamela or Pam. Sweet Misery's up in the chat. Well, good evening. A member for 18 months. Good gracious. Good gracious. Thanks for the love and support, Tammy. Same to you. I should change my roast. And then Lady Justice gifted a Bullhorn Betty membership. If you received your Bullhorn Betty membership, don't forget to tell Lady Justice thank you for the Bullhorn Betty membership. And welcome to this crazy family we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. Grab your straitjacket in your padded room and welcome aboard, guys. All right, let's get back to it. A picture emerges of missing children's lives. This is it's going to start getting a little interesting here. I really, like I said, I've not been a Joseph Morris fan, but he's been kind of growing on me a little bit. Oh, for the happy hour party. Thank you, love. Thank you. The real me, too. All right, let's get cranking here.
I don't want to pick a fight here, but it does sound like he looks like he is trying to cover for his son. That's just the gut check I'm getting right now from that. I don't know what do you guys think? Because this article also says that the other half of the pink blanket that was found in the tree near Earl's home was found in the family's trash, and it was actually used at one point to cover a window. Daniel denied it was Lily's at first, then later changed his story and admitted to it, claiming it.
Damn! So he changed his story. So he tells law enforcement it's not theirs. Then he changes his story and says it is. Like, these are red flags all day. And again, I have to absolutely believe law enforcement knew this way back then, because if you guys remember, don't forget this, they secretly and covertly brought in the RCMP Major Crimes and Forensic Team. They didn't know that that team had been kind of covertly brought in until days later. And I think it was they brought him in later on the second. I think it was the third that Malehya and Daniel realized that it was the forensic, because I think that they said it at the press conference, because if you remember, Malehya left, something upset her very, very much at the press conference that she left in the middle of it, in the middle of the briefing about the kids. She got up and went out to the ambulance and then left immediately with her mother. Story changer, yep. And we know that inconsistent statement is one of the major focuses of law enforcement. They are constantly looking at the possibility of changing stories to help identify people that aren't being truthful. Why would anybody sobbing in the ambulance? It sounds to me like he was the violent one. It sounded to me like she kind of checked out. I think she was overwhelmed with the 3 kids. I think Lilly and Jack were, becoming, I think they were out of control kids. I don't know if I necessarily think that they have autism. They may, but, not to be diagnosed at 4 and 5 years old by that time. She's still self-diagnosing them. So, hey Brooks, it's nice to see you, love. Tress, if you tell the truth in the beginning, you don't have anything to cover up or change. Exactly. And she uses the word sorrow. I know that bothered me. Yeah, we stopped that. When we were on here and we played that video, we stopped it and we talked about it. Why would she feel sorrowful? That was really a misplaced word, because there's nothing to be sorrowful for. I mean, sorrow. That's deep loss. These children were missing. She probably couldn't get them to the doctors, being controlled by Daniel. And she just got a vehicle back in April. It sounds like, I don't know what it sounds like. But Mike DeMann says that he believes, based on the linguistics of Daniel, that he can be pretty violent. And that was, pretty interesting. And I like the behaviorals and the linguistic people, the deception detectives. I like the deception type detective stuff. I just like their skill. Now, it does it mean it's spot on? Of course not. It's like any other tool. It has an XYZ percentage rate of being successful, much like anything. I mean, we put helicopters up in the air every single time we have a missing child, yet they're only 5% effective. I mean, if you really want to get down to the brass tacks of it, they're only 5% effective, but we put $10,000 in fuel up there and let them drive around, looking. Why? Because if there's a possibility, you utilize the tool. And so I like utilizing them as tools because they have a craft that we don't have. We have some type of skill, but definitely nothing that's professional by any degree. We knew something was wrong. I was abused, but when it comes to kids, I did what I had to for them. Exactly. She was a drug addict then and is now. She and Dee snapped that morning. I truly believe. I think things were spiraling out of control. We see this spiraling effect. It's kind of what I said in the Summer Wells case too, the spiraling effect that happened in their family. The cops being called, the abuse, the now the DCF workers coming out, and then a missing child. It's kind of it's a similar, like I said, a lot of these cases are the same exact case we tell every single time. We just have a different name and a different face to accompany the story. And I feel like that's much the same here.
It was planted from 1 week old garbage alongside 2 missing sweaters. Again, sorry, but like, why the changing of the story? Could it have been snagged on an ATV because it was found near an ATV trail? But the strangest clue yet was yet to come. That mystery vehicle is a massive lead. A neighbor tinkering with their own car heard a 5-speed car tearing in and out of the trailer's driveway 6 times from midnight to 5 a.m. on
forget the mic. Let's listen to this again. We're going to back up a little bit because this is where it comes to the vehicle and all the vehicle information that they're learning. Okay, here it is. Let's open our ears again. Let's listen. I'm going to try to back it up. I might have to back it up again, and I'm not going to stop and turn my mic back on to tell you that. You'll just know that's what I'm doing.
Old garbage alongside 2 missing sweaters. Again, sorry, but like, why the changing of the story? Could it have been snagged on an ATV because it was found near an ATV trail? But the strangest clue yet was yet to come. That mystery vehicle is a massive lead. A neighbor tinkering with their own car heard a 5-speed car.
You're right, tinkering with their own car. Yeah, that's odd. I thought they were in bed. Tinkering with their own car. I missed that. I thought he said in bed. Yeah, it does. And then beach photo again. That beach photo. Oh, there's Rod. It has your names different on my end in this program. I was calling you Brooks instead of Rod. Sorry, Rod. Well, it looks like I'm missing a tooth right here. I gotta adjust that. My chroma key. I don't have anything on my tooth, I promise. But now we have 2 pieces of blanket that were found. And now we have 2... Why were 2 sweaters thrown in the garbage can? Like, this is just, you know, we know what we know when we know. We don't know how... We don't know all the intricate details. But we know at the end of all of this, it's most likely, you know, Malehya and Daniel are going to have some serious questions to have to answer here. Hold on, Tammy says... There needs to be a new law. If CPS are investigating you and your child goes missing, then you need to be charged with something. Yeah. Yeah, I think there could... I think something like that should be reasonable. That you're being investigated and or had an investigation within short proximity of the time that child went missing. If that child's not found in XYZ or there's one molecule of information that's inaccurate, yeah, I think the parents should be, you know, held over. So, neighbors are working on the vehicle, heard that vehicle. In the country, people work on vehicle at night, quiet time. You hear everything. Okay. I mean, it's not the most unheard of thing I've ever heard, because, you know, if your car breaks down and you got to go to work in the morning, guess what? If you got to be there by 9 o'clock, you're going to be working on that car until it's running so you can get to work on time. I mean, you know, it's not the most uncommon story I've ever heard, but it's a little, you know, midnight to 5 a.m.? I don't know. That's a little weird. Let's just go back just ever so slightly.
Changing of the story. Could it have been snagged on an ATV because it was found near an ATV trail? But the strangest clue yet was yet to come. That mystery vehicle is a massive lead. A neighbor tinkering with their own car heard a 5-speed car tearing in and out of the trailer's driveway 6 times from midnight to 5 a.m. on May 1st. So Lansdowne is dead quiet. I mean, they live in the middle of nowhere, and actually where they live, only logging trucks and the school bus pass by for the most part. So this was definitely...
Only school buses and other, you know, very, very limited activity on that. That's one of the reasons why law enforcement did not buy The horse nonsense about the abduction. Because you've got to have other people on the road for somebody to abduct a child. And it doesn't sound like anything was really on this road. And you got to remember, this is a long stretch of road. So, it's hard because it's a hard story. It's a hard story because even Janie contradicts the idea of these children going into the woods. The level of traffic on this stretch of roadway is so low that the odds of a predator being at that moment outside when two children are in the backyard. They are not in the front yard. So how in the world is anybody being able to see them from the front yard? We heard Janie's story. Janie talked about them being near their play area. That she heard them. So how in the world could she hear them in the backyard if somebody's driving or in the front yard abducting them? That doesn't even make sense. How would they know that they were outside? I do agree that she was misrepresenting a lot of stuff, Lisa. I do agree with that, but I don't think she. I do believe some of the details she did bring up. I do. She was hiding a lot. She was covering a lot. I did identify that, but I also believe she was, for the most part, I shouldn't even say for the most part, for some of the parts, being truthful. Do I believe that she was preparing to have a pool? No. I do not. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I think that that was made up to explain the boot print. I think she's an after-the-fact type of, associate with this. Much like, Austin Drummond's associates, an after-the-fact type of scenario. That's what I kind of feel with Janie, because I feel like Janie is not being truthful. I feel like she's lying about critical details. And I also find it awfully funny that she puts Malehya at almost the exact spot where a boot print was found by a child, but not her footprint. That to me doesn't make sense. Just saying. This doesn't make sense.
Odd to be hearing this sort of vehicle zooming around in the middle of the night around their home. The neighbors actually reported this to the RCMP on May 8th, one of over 600 tips with over 5,000 video files and 800 tasks. So, of course, the question is, who was driving, and was it tied to the kids' disappearance? The neighbor, fearing for their safety, stayed anonymous but knew it was critical. That midnight visitor still haunts this case with no answers yet, and it actually fits into the timeline very well because the kids were actually last seen May 1st in town, and that was the last confirmed sighting of them. So were they abducted in the middle of the night? So the family actually faced significant challenges long before May 2nd. A social worker visited months earlier. Salt Springs teachers reported Lilly and Jack were developmentally delayed.
I would like to say something on this developmentally delayed aspect of it. Just because kids are developmentally delayed does not automatically diagnose them as autism or on the spectrum. Because children have to be educated. And it sounds like from this child's 1-year birthday and Lily's 3-year birthday, they have been in the clutches of Daniel Martell, which we know is on substances, which equate to most likely their mother, being on substances as well. So what does that tell you? When you have two parents or two parental figures inside the home where children, or where the parents are on substances, the idea that the parents are actually working with these children on their homework at night doesn't probably bode with the reality of the environment. And just that alone could set children back a lot, because children need homework. Children are scheduled homework. And those kids were starving for, you could tell that they were starving for attention because of how, how loud they are. It didn't sound like when I was a younger child, I was very loud, but I was deaf in an ear. When I get excited, I can't hear how loud for whatever reason. It's just, it's my makeup. I can't hear how loud I get. It sounds the same to me whether I'm talking low or talking screaming. And the more excitable I get, the louder I become. The noisier an area is, the louder I become. So I haven't heard of any type of hearing loss from either one of these children. So it technically, they could be seeking out attention, and that's what children do. When they're not getting attention, they will seek attention with bad behavior, and they don't realize that's what they're doing. All they know is that they're learning that if they do this, mommy and daddy will pay attention. However, if they do this, they won't. So they're noticing at a very young age that VHB loud, no way, LOL. That's funny. But if they're learning this stuff subconsciously, from the parents, because when they're good, the parents are ignoring them. But when they're bad, their parents are paying attention to them and speaking and interacting with them. So they're learning that the only way they're getting their parents' attention is by this type of behavior. And so that could very well be a part here, Now, do I know whether they have autism or not? No, and none of us will, because the children, from what law enforcement says, are not with us anymore. And they were never professionally tested or diagnosed. So we'll never be for sure ever again whether these children were on the spectrum or not. But if she wasn't taking them to the doctor, they couldn't have hearing loss. Oh, well, that's true too. Mine was very noticeable because it was when I was about 1.5 to 2 years old. My dad was speaking with my uncle, and my uncle wanted to speak with me, and so my dad put the phone up to my ear, and I moved it over to my other ear. And so my dad thought that was weird, so he's like, tells my uncle, hold on for a second, something's not right here. So he puts the phone to my ear, and I go to grab it to move it over, and he's like, well, why are you moving it? And I just kept saying my ear's broken, or that one's broken, because kids don't know. I just couldn't hear out of it, so I told him it was broken. And so that's when I was talking, and of course they started getting concerned and took me to the doctor and found out that I was fully deaf in my right ear, and that was at a very, very young age. I think it was, my mom would be the best suited to answer that, but I think it was around 1.5, 2 years old that I found out that I had permanent hearing loss. And it was nothing more than all the equipment's there, the eardrum, everything. When you do that, like the scans and stuff, all the equipment's there. But what they found out is during testing when I was 4 is that apparently there's a microscopic nerve that didn't make it to the eardrum. And so that nerve is the only thing missing. And if it was there, I'd have hearing, and that's it. Everything else is there except that one single nerve. And I think it's a nerve. I think that's what, if I remember correctly. It's been many years, since I've had the actual official test prognosis. My mom, again, would be the best one to remember that, 'cause I was so young. But if they had that could explain some of it. It could probably explain a lot, because when you have loss of hearing, you've got poor attention in school, especially if you're in the back of the back of the classroom and stuff like that. You just it's very, very difficult. But we're not hearing that. But somebody brings that up. If they haven't, do we know when the last time they went to a doctor was? Has that ever been discussed? I'm not sure if that has been discussed. Because she definitely didn't take him to the doctor, or Lily to the doctor when she got a black eye. I'm sorry, most parents I know, when a child gets a black eye, they take them to the doctor to make sure, that they weren't injured any further. I mean, a black eye means that they got hit pretty stinking hard. What? They never went to one ever? How is that possible? I mean, they're pretty strict in Canada. Don't the children have to have vaccinations before they go into school? Malehya had blood work on Thursday, allegedly. They have never been to the doctor. No way. That's what I heard. Car Acre says Canada going to doctors or hospitals is free, but I also heard it takes forever to get into. I don't know how true that is. I mean, I'm from the States, so I don't know a whole lot about Canada's medical stuff. I do know that they have like a socialized medicine type of thing. They need vaccines here in Canada. Okay. Well, that's good to know. Maybe Belinda would know. Yeah, that might be a great question to ask. It's very hard to get a doctor in Canada and to get appointments. Takes months, years sometimes. Wow. Can you imagine that being here? I'm sorry, guys. I know it sounds good to say, the government's paying for our health care, but if that's the case where you have to wait months or years to see a doctor, do we really want socialized medicine here? Y'all better really be thinking about what you're really asking. I'm sorry, but I did not know it was that bad in Canada. I thought it was, months out, which, in all fairness, right now, it's even just with healthcare, it takes a month to get an appointment. And that's when you have to pay for it. So, I get so pissed when I listen to... I know, it's so upsetting. It's so upsetting. Because, you know what's so upsetting about it? Is it was on Lily. I mean, it would have been upsetting that it was on Jack, but just to think that Daniel put his hands on a girl. A little girl. Not that it would be different if he put his hands on a little boy, but... just to think a little girl would know what it's like to be hurt by a man. Yeah, it bothers me. It goes against everything that we believe in on this channel. It really does. It really does. Let's get this last little clip, and then we'll start closing out the show.
They arrived unkempt, without winter clothes. The school provided them with coats. Daniel said that visit was about suspected autism, with a doctor's appointment set for May. He wouldn't say more. Photos from September and December 2024 showed Jack with marks on his face. Daniel claimed one was from Lily hitting him. He also said here that Lily had a black eye when the children went missing from an accident with a Tonka truck that occurred on May 1st, the day before the children disappeared. Quote, she pushed down on the truck and it swung up and hit in the face, end quote. So, I mean, that's just an unsettling detail that the day before Lily disappeared, she had a black eye. Like, what are the chances?
Bingo. I mean, he says it. Like I said, I wasn't, Joseph Morse is kind of growing on me a little bit, if not at least just for this. Because, I mean, think about it. Logically, it does. I know who's your mama. It unnerves me. It unnerves me. No child, I can get that children at times can challenge patience, but they're children. They don't understand. Their brains aren't developed. If they see it, they want it. They drive you nuts about it. Sometimes you just gotta close the front door and step out and take a breath. But hurting the child's never the answer. When you put a bruise on your child, I would think that you would you step back and say, you know, what can I do better? That this is wrong. I mean, you know, we're hearing that kids are being locked in closets and under beds. I mean, we've heard it before. Some of these stories are just deplorable. And it's like, when you go to tying up your child, does it not cross your flippin' brain cells that this is, like, messed up? Like, messed up. Well, the left in the hot car thing, fairness, not that it makes it right, but I can kind of understand with the infants. You know, not necessarily the older kids, but with the infants. And here's why, and this is why I know, not that anything bad or anybody in my family has done anything. I'm sure they probably have, but when you have a brand new baby, you know, work and requirements of life, they don't stop. And these parents, some of these parents are up all night with their freaking children, having to get up and go to work without any sleep and do a job because they don't get bereavement or proper maternity leave to get their child situated before returning back to work, or they can't afford to be out of work, you know, to have the child. It's a sad situation, but I can understand how it happens. Not that I understand it does, but I know that the sleep deprivation that's associated with it, it's hard. It's, you know, you're sometimes walking around in a fog. But now, like, I noticed that new cars now have, when you turn the engine off, they have beepers now that say check your back seat, which is really nice, and I'm sure probably helps with that. Cutting in and out. Am I cutting in and out? It might be my low latency. I will get some things worked out here. Let me see if I can change it. Will it let me change it? No, it won't let me change it. Let's see. Mode. Let's see. Like I said, I'll have to work with this. Oh, I have a whole bunch of settings here. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to run my wizard before I started. I bet you that's exactly what happened. I forgot to run my wizard before I started. And I think if I would have ran my wizard before I started, it would have given me all the settings, because that's the one thing I noticed is when I shut down, I didn't shut it down right, and it screwed up some of my settings. So I think I'm just going to minimize it and put it down in the bottom of the tray here and just keep it minimized, and that should keep all my settings good. And I know I'm going to have to update this system every now and again, but, you know, every now and again having to refresh it, it's good. It's been pretty good. Yeah, it has been. I'm telling you, I like this program, even with a little bit of, because I'm still learning it. So I think once I get on here and start working, no, wizard. It's a setting wizard. It makes sure that my settings are exactly the best settings for YouTube, and I did that on the first show and it came out perfect, but this one had some funky things going on with it. But we'll get it figured out. We'll get it figured out. But I'm so thankful that you guys are here. I'm glad we're having better quality shows, and even the little glittery stuff all here and here, that will be fixed as I modify and keep updating the green screen. It's just little adjustments here, little adjustments there. I was able to finally crop my head out. I didn't know how to do that. I had this big, huge box. And so I had to learn how to, you know, how to work different boxes and different features on here. But I'm learning it. And I think it's going to be really good as I keep building it. So we're already getting further than I thought we would. So this is one project I was not looking forward to, and I've been dragging my butt on this specific project for over a year and a half, because that's how long I've been paying for StreamYard while I've completely complained about it. And this right here is costing this channel $0. The program I'm running through right now costs this channel $0. The channel I was running through before, their cheapest service was $40 a month. I'm building a new system, yeah. I'm building, like, this was a blank screen. I've had to add all these settings in. It's been a learning curve, but I figured if I can accomplish this, I can accomplish anything. Never stop learning. Never stop learning. That's my biggest thing out there. If you stop learning, that's on you, but I find it, you know, interesting. I never try to stop learning. Cut out still. I'm working on that. But see, I don't really have a full green screen. The green screen's up here. And it's kind of wavy. It's not straight, so it gets a little shadows. And when you get the shadows in it, that's when you get these little prickly things right here. So that just has to be worked out. And once it's worked out and straightened out and doesn't have all the shadows on it, then it looks a lot better. So I'm still working with some settings. It's not cut out on my end. It's not? It's showing me cut out on my end. What are you guys seeing on your end? Let me see. Yeah, it should be. My head should be all cut out. My motto never. It's clear on mine. Good. Because I noticed that after all the money that I was spending to run through StreamYard and paying top dollar for their service to have crystal clear images, my image was far from crystal clear. Let me just adjust this a little bit. Filters. So I can just do this and bring it just back ever so slightly. I might fix some of it. There we go. See? So and then I bring that back over there. So it's just adjusting here and there. Sound hasn't cut out on me in a few. Okay, good. I'm watching on my phone. Well, I don't have, once I get the earphones in, I haven't ran this from the office on the sound equipment yet. That's going to be another challenge because we might have echo with that. I'm going to have to figure that out because I have a condenser mic. So we might have to run another live just to play around with the settings for the sound equipment. Because I'm just running straight through the computer, you know, speaker through the computer, microphone through the computer, nothing independent from one another. And then of course I got the independent camera, but that's about it. Interesting thing is Jane would not allow Dan on AVV, so probably his bro did dirty work. Or she wouldn't let him back on it because she knew he had previously been on it and didn't want any possibility of his, you know, them assuming he was on it the night before. I think everything was I don't know. I've never trusted Daniel. He was clicking all the boxes in the right spot, but there was just something that just never sat easy with me when it came to Daniel. And I was hopeful for Janie, and I knew right after I saw Janie, I didn't know what to believe, but I felt Janie was being truthful in part, but not. Hey, Bullhorn. Chat. Hey, Indiana. It's nice to see you. Sasha, I never said hi to you either. Sorry about that. Grave Crime with Grace. It's nice to see you. So, anyways, that's kind of just it in a nutshell. I've never really trusted him. I knew the mom knew something really bad happened because she ran away. She couldn't even look at the house. She couldn't look at Daniel anymore. She couldn't deal with any of it. She left. That really was a telltale sign. You know what I'm saying? It just is. So I don't know what to make of it, but this whole ATV going back and forth from midnight to 5 a.m., that's a lot to do. That's 5 hours, y'all. I want you guys to hear that. From midnight to 5 a.m. or 6, that's 5 to 6 hours. Do you not think that you can disappear 2 small children in 5 to 6 hours? And this is activity going on in a very inactive area at very inactive times. That's a lot of commotion going on in a small little area that never has commotion going on. So, I don't know. I wish the RCMP had more information. I wish more stuff would come out, you know, about this. So we'll see. Ooh. Now I'm hungry. I'm hungry. Somebody just sent me a picture of a delicious dish, and now I'm starving. So, anyways, guys, thanks for coming and hanging out with me. It was great seeing you all today. We're going to be rolling out more. I've just got to get some stuff set up, and I haven't been, you know, I've been dealing with some medical stuff going on with me. So, nothing serious, you know, just pain and back issues from some of the stuff I had to do around here, and so I'm fine, but it's just been a little bit of a struggle for me personally. But nothing that I can't handle, nothing that I don't deal with on a regular. But it's given me the ability to be in here and really get this stuff here rolled out so we can get off the old program. So we'll keep working it out until we get it perfect, guys. So thanks for being here, and we'll see you soon. Rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe, and more importantly, kind to one another. We'll see you tomorrow.